Hello, welcome to episode 2. Wait a minute, I have to do this. Music, yes, this is not episode 2, but season 2 of Imposter Syndrome Disrupted. I'm doing a little something different because I have my opening music, but I have to play this music too to StreamYard. I use StreamYard to broadcast this show. StreamYard just added or recently added music to the broadcast studios, which I'm hyped about. So I had to use this. Come on in. Let's get started with season 2 of Imposter Syndrome Disrupted. Yes. You know what's funny? StreamYard calls this music feeding the duck, because the duck is a mascot of StreamYard. But I'm feeling this vibe from this tune right here. It is not no feeding the ducks kind of vibe with this. It's like, come on. Yes. But who's here with me? Come on, check in. Who's with me for season 2 kickoff of Imposter Syndrome Disrupted? I have a phenomenal guest in the studio, and hopefully we have all our tech issues resolved, because she is, like phenomenal guest. I purposely have her as my kickoff guest for season 2, because she is all of that and then some. So, but let's get started. Hey, okay, yes, you're here. Hey, Dr. Sonia, great to have you here. If my memory serves me correctly, you're one of my peers from the Cornell University Women's Entrepreneurship Program. I could be getting in trouble, but I'm almost certain. You finally caught my live. Yes. Who else is here? Hey, Todd, how are you? And so I'm giving Todd a shout out because you know what? This is all about empowering women entrepreneurs, but we support allies in that process, right? So welcome, Todd. Yes, StreamYard just added the music and I'm loving it. Yes. Hey, Kimberly. Yes, this is how we do. We get it started. Greetings from Houston. So nice to have you from Houston. Yes, my memory is correct. Good. But come on in, check in. So for my fellow women entrepreneurs, and I'm sorry, I get excited, so yeah. But if you're used to the show, you're used to that. But for my fellow women entrepreneurs, and I clicked the wrong banner. I'm sorry. Check in by leaving one of your business wins so far this year. So there's no special guest opportunity. So if you saw that, ignore that. Because I have my guest in the studio waiting for me in the green room. But please check in by leaving a comment with your business win so far. Let me just turn this music down. Because I'm feeling this Feeding the Ducks tune by StreamYard. So I'm going to just lower it a little bit. But this is season 2, so episode 25 of Imposter Syndrome Disrupted. Welcome to all the new viewers. So great to have you back if you're a consistent viewer of this show. But this is Imposter Syndrome Disrupted here every second and fourth Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. I took a little break because of the holidays, and then I had an illness, and had to do some planning so we get this new season off in a whole new vibe and a whole new energy. We always have to level up. So that's what we're doing. But welcome. And again, put in the comments, if you're a woman business owner, what has been one of your business wins so far? Today is January 25th. The first month of the year is almost over. We're moving forward into 2022. We should be having receipts already. We should be having wins already. For me, there's been some, like a lot. Kind of sort of. One of them I want to mention is yesterday. I finalized, got the green light for probably to date my biggest corporate client. And I'm excited about that, doing a LinkedIn training series for this corporate client that confirmed yesterday, and we're going to be moving forward with that. So that's one of mine. And then stay tuned for my LinkedIn profile. You're going to see a photo regarding one of my other recent business wins. So put yours in the comments. This is all about empowering women entrepreneurs. We do that together. And so when we see each other, see and hear each other's wins, that empowers us to know, hey, we can do that too, because we come here to support each other in that process. Giving virtual cup of coffee calls to my LinkedIn connections, and they are a rewarding experience for the recipients and myself. Thank you for sharing that, Janet Palmer. Welcome. I believe this is your first time joining, so welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me get started because I want to get to my guests so we have enough time. Because we have some new ones who are listening live or may hear the replay or the podcast version or the YouTube version, let me make sure. And again, let me go back and just really just stop the music. How about that? Because it's distracting me because I'm getting like into it even more. So let me just back up and introduce myself before I go even further. Oh, I have to do the shout out and then I'm gonna stop. Yay, I'm so glad to have her here. And I don't want to mispronounce the name, but a recent LinkedIn connection that I've enjoyed and appreciate your engagement. So great to have you here. But let me just take a moment to introduce myself, and then I'm going to move through my agenda for the focus of this episode. Now, I am Clarene Mitchell, the LinkedIn Results Igniter. I'm a solopreneur, so small business owner in the greater Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, but I have a virtual business. So I service clients throughout the country and internationally. My whole focus as a business owner is changing the trajectory of lives and businesses, one LinkedIn profile at a time. My expertise is empowering my clients to shine online by understanding the platform, optimizing their profiles, expanding their networks when it's based upon quality versus quantity, and being able to create consistent content, consistent, compelling content so they shine online. I do that via one-on-one coaching, group training, event speaking, content creation, so content management for LinkedIn specifically, and I create LinkedIn graphics so that you can shine online. That's me in a nutshell, kind of, sort of. That's what I do. And I created this show January 2021 as a way to make sure that more of us women entrepreneurs, because the majority of my clients are women entrepreneurs, but I service everyone. But the majority of my clients are women entrepreneurs, in discovering and seeing that far too many of my clients were struggling with doing some of the things I was pushing them to do, which is shine online, be bold about our brilliance, our expertise, and those imposter thoughts that weigh us down and keep us from owning our brilliance. Thus, this show, Imposter Syndrome Disrupted. So, hoping each week, or each episode rather, cuts away at that, more and more. If you stay along each episode and you join in and you engage, it helps to disrupt imposter thoughts, because it's a continual process. Even for me, I have them. If we're honest, we all have imposter thoughts on a regular basis, but we have to make sure that we fight against them, shut them down, right? Disrupt them and own our brilliance and make sure we're shining online so we get the business we deserve, right? All right, so that's what this show is about. And each episode, I start off with sharing an empowering quote, and then I also share a resource. I'm all about, again, empowerment, but making sure that we're equipped with the resources that we need to move forward. And so I share a motivational quote to inspire, pump you up, and then we get into a resource, and I have a great one today, another one, as always, and then to my guest. All right, so to share the quote that I have for today, here it is. Be stronger than your excuses. And this is straight up real talk. Like, no, we don't have time in 2022, because that's where we're at right now. 2022. We don't have time for excuses this year, right? And if you agree, put yes in the comments. No, or put no excuses. Team no excuses. Whatever you want to put in the comments. We don't have time for excuses this year. We are focused on bossing up and getting the business we deserve. We can't do that if we have excuses, right? We can't be great if we have excuses. So make sure that we time out for that. We don't have time for excuses. We're about moving forward. All right. That is a motivational quote for this episode. And I'm trying to go through this quickly. Now, for those who have followed me, I believe you should know that, we've all experienced this process of being in the pandemic, and it's impacted us all in different ways. At the start of the pandemic, it pretty much shut my business down, literally for the first month. I'll never forget, February 2020, my business was like, yes, on fire. And trajectory wise, things were, but then the pandemic hit, shut down for about a month until I met one of my business mentors, and it truly changed the game for my business. Literally changed the game. And it changed the game because I attended one of her week-long master classes. Through that process, I leveled up my business to putting key structure pieces in place for my business, starting to demand my value when it comes to the rates that I charge for my business. But all of that to say that I am sharing a resource with you that I know will be life-changing for you, for your business, if you take advantage of it. So coming up, and so this is a photo of Dr. Ava Johnston Weaver, and she is one of my business mentors. And again, attending her master class in 2020 really revolutionized my business. And she offers what's called perfect media. Let me say it right. PMP, so perfect media pitch masterclass. Perfect media pitch masterclass. She offers it through her Facebook group, and it's live sessions every day for 7 days. So 7 days, 7 lessons for her to guide you. And it's phenomenal, the wealth of information that she provides for free. But she provides guidance on helping you craft your perfect media pitch. A part of having success as business owners is getting exposure with the media, and earned media especially. She helps guide you through that process of getting that perfect media pitch like flawlessly down. But a wealth of other information and guidance and that she provides through this perfect media pitch masterclass. It is coming up. So starting next week, starting on the 31st, every day. So it'll be 5 days of the live session through her Facebook page. So perfect media pitch, look that up on Facebook, but specifically, and then after that, so 5 days, and then there's bonus days that she gives as well for that. So that's why 5 days, 7 lessons, one perfectly crafted media. And actually, here it is. So I'm knocking myself out with this because I want you to see this. But so 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, again, on her Facebook group page, navigating the media landscape in the current crisis and beyond. That's day 1, lesson 1. Lesson 2, or day 2, is finding the best media opportunities for you now. Lesson 3, or day 3, the secret to selecting topics the media loves, and then cut to the core of your pitch and building your $1 million mindset. All right. So if that is of interest to you, and I'm not sure if she's joining us here, if she's been able to tune in, she may be in the chat to respond to questions. But if you're interested in joining that free masterclass, I will be having a audio event with Dr. Ava Johnston Weaver on Thursday. This Thursday, on Thursday, February. Why am I mixing up my dates here? On Thursday, January 27th, and I'm sorry, I'm checking my modem because my Wi-Fi is like giving me problems today. Not sure why, but on Thursday, January 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be having Dr. Ava Johnston Weaver as a guest for an audio event. So LinkedIn recently, like brand new, I think we're in week 3. I'm a beta tester for LinkedIn's new feature, LinkedIn audio events, kind of like, I'm going to just say the initials, CH. that other platform where the audio app. But LinkedIn has its own version now, but it's in beta form. So I'm one of the beta testers. I'm going to have an exclusive interview with Dr. Ava Johnston Weaver on this Thursday. So again, January 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She'll be joining me for a Q&A to talk all about it. So if you're interested in that free masterclass, send me a direct message on LinkedIn and I will send you the link for that show. Okay, so send me a direct message on LinkedIn. I'll send you a link for that show so that you can be sure to join me on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for an interview with Dr. Ava. It's all about her masterclass that's coming up next week. All right. I'm going to move on so I can get to my guest. Let me just check the messages. Yes. No time for excuses. No excuses. I see you, Colette. Yes. Hey, Colette. Nice to have you here. No excuses. All right. So I'm going to bring my guest on and let's see. Can everything work in technology wise?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So let me just say this before we get started. How do I even start to like, all right. So I've been a guest on Monica's show. She has a radio show called Monica Morgan Speaks. So Monica's out of Detroit, Michigan. And I've been a guest on her radio show twice. And so I'm loving the fact that we get to turn the tables and she's a guest on my show now. So I get to ask her questions and all of that. It'll be fine. But for full disclosure, I want to say, of course, that Monica is she's a guest, a client of mine. Let me say that. I messed it up. So Monica's a client of mine. So full disclosure. But I'm gonna say this too, for full transparency. Yeah, like Monica's one of those clients of mine. Probably the only client of mine that I be getting jealous about, and I've not told her. I don't think like her like she don't so I don't even know how to even start saying this. Monica, her activity has just been on fire on LinkedIn since going through my coaching program. We started at actually she ended last year. So December 31st, she had her coaching session with me, her power session, and she's been on fire ever since. But I be getting jealous because when I look at because I track my clients and I'll be looking at her engagement, her reactions, her her comments and all of that. Like, all right, do that. But it for me it's like gratifying because I want my clients to shine online. I want them to excel, and she is the definition of that. And so I appreciate you, Monica, for putting in the work because I teach all my clients to do it, but that doesn't mean they do it. So I appreciate the fact that you put in the work and you make it happen. So with that said, I want you to just before we get into the Q&A and some other information, like beyond me being jealous of, and I'm saying that facetiously, not really like in real reality, but like in admiration and in love. But in addition to that, like I'm blown away by this brilliant woman. That's why I had to have her as my guest today for the opening of season 2. She truly is the epitome of success when it comes to being a woman entrepreneur, a woman business owner, especially as a Black woman. And so I staying in awe of her all the time. It's like she don't know I be fanning out like she's my goals. Like I've been in the game, so to speak, as a business owner about 4.5 years. She's been in this business or in the business of having her own business 30 plus years. That speaks a lot to have that longevity and be successful. Okay, I'm done talking. Introduce yourself, Monica, and then we'll get into the questions. Who are you beyond all that I said? Who is Monica Morgan?
Hello, everyone. Actually, I am an introvert. No one believes me when I say that. However, interviews are difficult for me because I feel as if I have to be on, and I'm the one who likes to enter the room and be in the back of the room. So, Clarene, let me give full disclosure on this. There are some people who have been waiting a while for me to be a guest on their show. And I
Oh,
said yes to yours. And if they're out there listening to me or if they've seen promos, I am in trouble because I
you
have some
don't have it like
interviews
me.
lined up, but I'm not ready for them yet.
I'm sorry, but not sorry. I'm like so thankful that you know said yes immediately, and we're making it happen. But introduce you. Who is Monica Morgan? What's the name of your business, and what does your business focus on?
For over 3 decades, I've been living life through the lens of a camera, documenting historical events, icons, celebrities, well known people, and high profile events. For example, I'm Rosa Parks's, or I was Rosa Parks's personal and official photographer. I've worked for many celebrities and icons. I've had moments behind the lens as well as in front of the lens. So I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of the individuals that I've photographed. For example, Prince Charles, Muhammad Ali. I spent 6 hours at his home as he performed magic. And I have met people like Muammar Gaddafi, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Sophia Loren, Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till Mobley, Cicely Tyson, Sidney Poitier. The list goes on and
On
on
and
and
on
on.
and
But I've
on.
also covered some serious events as well. 9/11, Katrina. I've covered Nelson Mandela's the swearing in as him as president, his first R-race elections, the bombs that went off prior to the election. So I've done some of those type of events as well.
Okay, so did everyone hear that? This is the acclaimed international photojournalist that, and like she said, like she can go on and on with the receipts of the prominent world leaders that she's had, not just the opportunity to put them in photos to last forever, right? But to have one-on-one time with them and talk and be on a first name basis with them. Now you understand why I'm in awe of this woman, right? I'm reading Cicely Tyson's book now, but Monica Morgan has, done her photography with
I,
her.
I have to tell you a funny story about Cicely Tyson. So as we were traveling on a plane with Rosa Parks' remains going to Montgomery, we went to DC, to these various services. There was a moment when we were backstage in DC. Oprah was standing next to Cicely Tyson and Alexis Herman and then Gail. And then there was this gentleman whose head was sticking out. And I said, oh my gosh, I wanted a photograph of the powerful women. I didn't think about the guy, I just needed him out the photo. So I said, excuse me, sir, do you mind stepping over for a moment? Cicely Tyson reached over and said to me, Monica, that's Tyler Perry. I went, oh, okay, you can get back in the photograph. I'll put you up. I said, you should have been wearing your Medea outfit. How was I supposed to
Oh,
know?
oh my
So I've had
goodness.
moments like that.
Just Tyler Perry, the multimillionaire producer with a phenomenal studio in Atlanta that rivals Hollywood studios, right? Just Tyler Perry, no big deal. Just him. Um, Colette's comment, Monica Morgan is not just an incredible photojournalist, she's a celebrity and a celebrity photojournalist. Yes.
Thank you for
Yes.
that.
But so in addition to you being this phenomenal photojournalist, and of 30 years, you're transitioning also to including Monica Morgan Speaks. So speaking as a part of your business offerings as well. Tell us more about that.
It is very difficult for me. In the past, I've done some speaking on my work, but
Mhm.
now I am pivoting into the actual speaking world. And it's not as easy for me as it is for some because of my introvertedness. So before I go on, my heart palpitates. Sometimes I can't breathe. I go through all of these emotions no one believes. Then I hit the mic and God takes over. I have to say God takes over. So I have been working with Pam Perry, who's, taking me to another level. And then Clarene, when you talk to me about LinkedIn, I've had other people talk to me about LinkedIn, and that is a subject that I've spoken with Pam about and other people.
Mhm.
But that's been a little piece of the big puzzle that I have to put together. And so I've heard it. I've heard it before. I've been to other trainings. It's been in the back of my mind, but with something about when you started to speak on it, that everybody's everything started to hit me, and it's like, oh, this is the moment that I need to actually get more active on LinkedIn. I hated LinkedIn. I felt like it was just for people to sell me. Whenever I would accept a connection, boom, here come the sales call. So I wouldn't even read my inbox. I was so turned off by it. I don't know how I had amassed over almost 5,000 connections and probably 5,000 followers. And I don't know how, because I didn't use the platform. And now I'm using it a lot more. I'm seeing that you have to put things into it that you want to get out of it. So when I started to see people were responding to me, I was in shock, Clarene. I was actually in shock. And that's thanks to you.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Now, not only, but you again, like I said before, you put in the work, and I'm glad you've made that evolution in reference to the views of LinkedIn. And yes, shout out to Pam Perry, because that's how actually you and I met, or she's actually how
Mhm.
you and I met, because I jumped into, yeah, I'm gonna have to say this on LinkedIn, but I jumped into one of
You
her
know,
clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Yeah, you say it, not me. I jumped into one of her rooms, and that's how we met, and the rest is continues to be history for us. But like, I want to make sure it's known, because I talked about it before. I be getting jealous of all your success on the platform, kind of, sort of. But you're not just like, your analytics have skyrocketed and continue because you're putting in the work, right? Also, all the reactions and the comments and the views and all of that, but your profile reviews, connection invites, and all of that, and search appearances, but you getting business inquiries
Yes.
right away. You
Finally,
started.
finally, after being on this platform forever, finally, there are some real connections and there are some benefits for me on this platform. And I realized the funny thing is, a lot of the people that I want to reach out to,
Mm-hmm.
or you just stay in their presence a little bit, they're on LinkedIn and I'm connected to them. Who knew? Who knew?
I
I'm
know.
going through
We
reaching for their name and it says, you're connected.
first level. I know we be on the phone
First level
sometimes or
connection.
message. Yep.
And I never used the platform. And so there's a big event that I'm photographing on Thursday called Men of Excellence, and they're going to honor 50 prominent men. And one of them is a potential client that I want. And I reached out to him on LinkedIn. We're first level connections. I said, hey, I can't wait to photograph you. And he responded to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who
So
knew?
it's all about what you put into it and how you use the platform. But let's get off of LinkedIn, because it's supposed to be about you right here. So with your transition to speaking, bravo, because I know you're going to be phenomenal with that. But I want you to share some insights of how you've been able to start a business, grow a business, maintain it 30 years, 30 plus years, even through the pandemic. Well, maybe even what got you first into photography? How did you, I know the story, but tell the world who all is listening. What's that story?
There are so many stories about that. However, I'll say it was this one. Actually, I was working in public relations for Domino's Pizza, promoting LK Line, the Pizza Ponies, the classic car collection. And I noticed that photographers would come and go. And I said, wait, I want to be able to do that. Just do my job, get it right, and go. I don't have to deal with all of the red tape and the bureaucracies and the politics that are associated with corporate America. So
Mhm.
that was one thing. And then another thing that I did was I was writing for the Michigan Chronicle, which is one of the oldest African American newspapers. I was writing for them, doing a column, taking photos. And I didn't get paid for my first front page article on our governor's inauguration, but I made money for taking some snapshots with a camera from the event. Writing, pre-interview, interview, writer's block, trying to figure it out. Photography, you take the photo, either you get it or you don't. So it was a no-brainer for me. I started to do more of it, and thanks to God, I got better at it. I'm self-taught, but there are people who helped me out along the way. I read a lot, but one of the things that I think I did differently than a lot of photographers was that I studied the sales techniques and the business aspect because those were the areas that I felt I lacked in. And
Mhm.
so a lot of people are great photographers, but they have that concept of starving artists. I like to eat. That terrifies me. So I'm going to do whatever it takes not to starve. And that's why
Right.
I've been able to successfully pivot.
That's a good takeaway for the fellow women entrepreneurs who are listening, either now during the live or the replay. Is we have to do whatever it takes, like the opening quote I shared of no excuses. We have to do whatever it takes to make it happen because we like to eat, right? Actually, we need to eat to live. Right, it's a survival thing. We have to keep a roof over our head, and we have bills, right? And so we have to do what it takes. It can't be just passion project or side hustle. If it is a side hustle for you, then that's fine. But if you're full time at it, like we are, we have to put our full energies into it to keep success going, right? So thanks for sharing that. I want to make sure people that locks in mentally with others that we have to do things differently and not try to cookie cut ourselves like others and get that competitive advantage. But anything else? Any other tips?
Well, as I was photographing a lot of events, I was learning from those events. So I would do corporate events and they'd have these workshops. And of course, I would go into those workshops first that resonated with me and I would take images there. And so I would buy the books or get the information. And it was one of those situations where I was constantly always learning, talking to some of the people, coming outside of my comfort zone, talking to people who were making a difference in the business world. And while I was trying to find out more about the business aspects, they would start to watch me and how I was documenting the event. They would look at my photos and they ended up hiring me.
Oh
So it's
wow.
one of those things where I say, be the best at what you do, whatever it
Mhm,
is. People will notice you. You don't have to shout it out on top of the rooftops. If
mhm.
you're doing it systematically, strategically,
Yes.
and effectively, people will want to know more about you.
And I love that because it goes back to our conversation about LinkedIn, because you're getting the results because you're putting your information out there in a quality way, not in a salesy way. And one of our viewers, Todd Nielsen was saying, the situation about one of his connections and being bombarded with the sales process, the salesy message, the really annoying cold calling kind of process. And that's not what you do. You put out quality content. You're not pushing your business. You're pushing out what your expertise is and providing value. And then the law of attraction is coming into play for you, right? Because you know the
Mhm.
best practices. You've been taught how to do it in a way that resonates or works on the platform. So good for you. That's a great insight. Now, what do you see coming up? Where do you see your business in 6 months or a year? What can people anticipate happening with Monica Morgan Speaks, irregardless of the pandemic and how it's throwing a monkey wrench still in what we would like to do otherwise as speakers? What's down the road for Monica Morgan Speaks?
I have been preparing for some time to teach
Hmm.
children, to
Okay.
teach individuals, and also to give some online events, showing
Hmm.
my work, talking about them, talking about the stories, but the lessons learned from those stories.
Okay.
Also, I am planning to help people more show up online.
Okay.
It's one of those things where I have some friends, they always have their camera off. Well, it defeats the purpose because you need to have the camera on to engage with people. People want to
Yes.
see you. That's how they
Yes.
get to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I hate to say this, but when I get ready for one of these, I mean, I have to do everything, put on perfume, the
I
works.
do the same thing.
I just
Yes.
feel better that way when you show up feeling your best. So,
Yes.
and then earlier I was trying to deal with the blueness of my camera. So I was working on this aspect and that aspect. I said, I look blue on StreamYard. And so I'm figuring all of that out. It's really stressful to prepare for these interviews.
But,
But I want to
but
say
wait a
thank
minute.
you for the
Wait a minute.
opportunity.
Wait a minute. Before you continue with that, I want to make sure, because again, this is about empowering women entrepreneurs. That point, we have to show up, like show up at boss level status, right? Having the camera off, not being dressed appropriately, not I can go on and on, but those simple things will allow for us to make that good impression, that strong impression, in addition to what you were saying, how it makes us feel better, right? It gives us that confidence. When we feel good, when we look good, we show up strong, right? So making sure that we like take advantage of every opportunity, because we never know how we could be creating more opportunity for ourselves or destroying opportunities that could be there for us to take. Okay, I'm sorry, but continue on. So what's what else is going on? What
Well,
else can we look forward
if
to?
you're, for example, in a Zoom room, and I call it those Hollywood squares, and there are people who have their cameras off, or people who have their camera at a very low angle or a bad angle, or they're disappearing from their virtual background. Those are things that are distracting. But if you come
Yeah,
on professionally, people start to wonder, who is this? Why does hers? Yeah, I mean, we can always be a work in progress. I mean, like I said, I think this is a little blue, so I'm going to work on my StreamYard camera settings. However, we still need to show up in our best light, because that's when people want to connect with
right,
us.
right.
Also, I come outside of my comfort zone. So I push myself to get to know people. Now, I've had some invitations on LinkedIn to have a virtual cup of coffee. And again, I got a waiting list on that. And I say it like that because it's me. I got to be at my best, have my best energy so that I can engage with someone. So if I say to them, just give me a little time, I'm not putting them off. It's not about them. If I say I'm going to do it, I'll do it. It's about me, because I want to show up in my best light. And
Right.
with having a lot of things going on in this world today, trainings and performances and speeches and radio shows live, it's just a lot. And we have to
Right.
prioritize those things. So it's great to engage with people on this platform. And when people reach out to me, when they say to me right away, let's connect, sometimes it takes a minute because I'm juggling a lot of things and still working on those time management things. So time management can be a priority.
Right.
And also, letting people know when you want to connect with, or that you will connect with them, and hoping that they believe you when you say, it may not happen today, just be patient with me. I promise you we'll connect. Because
And
it's
you
an
have
honor
to,
when people want to connect with you.
right, but we have to have the time to check them out, vet them, right? Because we don't
Right.
just connect with any and everybody. We have to make sure we're bringing the right people into our networks, right? And it
That is
isn't
very
showing up like I'm always conscientious about the glare of my glasses, but I haven't figured it out yet. But I make sure everything else is in my control. I make happen so that presence is there,
So
because
can
you
I
never.
solve that problem, Clarene, for you?
Come on, give me the tip. Let me know.
Now, you got to be careful, but when you put your chin down a little bit, the glare goes away. Just a little. You don't want it to
Right,
go too much. So when you put your chin back, the glare is there. You
right.
keep your chin down a little bit,
I,
it
I
goes.
I try to practice that, but you know me, Monica. I don't sit still. I'm animated. I talk and then I move my hands. So I've tried doing that. Yeah, I can't. And so it's great to see Dr. Avis is here with us. So remember again from the top of the show when I talked about her upcoming perfect media pitch masterclass is coming up next week. Again, if you want to be a part of that, send me a direct message on LinkedIn and I will send you the link. She will be my featured guest for an exclusive Q&A and conversation about that during an audio event, LinkedIn audio event, which I'm so excited about the feature, me being one of the beta testers, but a LinkedIn audio event on Thursday, January 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So send me a direct message, let me know, and I will send you the link. I just haven't started publicly promoting it yet because I didn't want to conflict with this show. So I'm gonna start rolling it out. But send me a direct message and I'll send you the link so you can join us, because it's gonna be exclusive interview with her for her to really lay out all the details of the show. Of her master class. And again, me taking her master class in at the start of the pandemic. So in 2020, I believe it was in April of 2020 was a game changer for my business. Literally was a game changer. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. I got it right. Thank you, Dr. Davis. I'm glad I got it right. I had to look because I get tongue tied with saying that sometime. PMP. That's what I have to remember. PMP, perfect media pitch. All right. So we're gonna wrap up, Monica. It has been an honor again to have you. For all of those who are kind of a little salty that I have her instead of you, yeah, your day is coming. I'll just say that. But I'm sorry, couldn't resist. Any closing um, tidbits or any closing insights you want to give other women entrepreneurs, again, based on your 30 plus years of success being a entrepreneur, business owner? Any final words or insights or just anything you would like to share? Anything that you have coming up? You want to talk about your radio show? The floor is yours. The stage is yours.
As women, we have to show up differently. We always have. So we always need to be at our best. I don't go to the garbage can unless I'm looking decent. I don't go to the grocery store unless I'm looking, presentable. It's important. It's no such thing as running out for a second because you would inevitably run into someone who knows you or knows of you, and
Yes.
they may not let you know, but they're watching you. So
Yes.
always show up at your best. And when you look your best, you're going to perform your best and feel your best. And even if you don't feel that well, feeling that you look good will come through in the long run. Another thing is constantly learn, always learn, study, take advantage of these classes that are being offered, or these free classes, or classes that you pay for. Take advantage of coaching. Constantly learn. That's what makes you better, and persevere. You may fail today, but that big victory is just around the corner. So when you feel down, call somebody that's uplifting and say to them, I'm not having a great day today. And let them talk you through it. And then that next day when you wake up, you're going to forget about how you felt the day before, because some amazing opportunity will come through. Always believe in yourself, block out the negative what ifs, and keep pushing forward, moving up that mountain. I am a speaker. I have lots of stories, and I can help you as a photographer. I can help you as a person who wants to show up better online or in photographs. I can also help you become a better photographer or share lessons learned behind the camera lens. Remember, I'm pivoting into speaking, so I'm available and I'd love to connect with you. My website is just been finished by Allison Curd, MonicaMorganSpeaks.com. It's a work in progress because I'm always a perfectionist, but please let me know what you think. Connect with me, Monica at MonicaMorganSpeaks.com. And thank you
Great.
so much, Clarene, for this opportunity.
Oh, it's been my honor. Thank you. And I'm sure everyone has been inspired and empowered by you being the guest. Something you said, and stay with me, don't leave. Something you said reminded me of even my time in Dr. Avis's program is I have it ingrained in my head, progress over perfection. Because by nature, I'm a perfectionist to the core, by every detail. But as a business owner, I can't get caught up in all of that. So um you too. So it's in my head, progress over perfection, so I can move forward and learn as I go and get better as I go. But moving forward is helps me accomplish more, or I'm able to accomplish more as I move forward versus being fixated in one space, trying to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, so to speak. Right? Right? Thank you, Dr. Sonia. I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. So again, I'm here every second and fourth Tuesday for Imposter Syndrome Disrupted at noon Eastern Standard Time. Every second and fourth Tuesday, as much as I can. Didn't miss any last year and hope to not miss any the rest of this year. So join me, put it on your calendars. Join me here. You never know who I'm gonna have as a guest. Here it is, international photojournalist who has been like behind the lens for taking photos of, oh my goodness. Woo, check her LinkedIn profile and her content. Go to her activity section and see her posts. You'll see some of these individuals she's photographed. But you never know who I may have as a guest. So lock this in on your schedules to join me here every second and fourth Tuesday. So the next episode will be on February 8th, again at noon Eastern Standard Time. Also, you can support this show and my being able to provide you consistent quality guests like this, consistent information I provide overall on LinkedIn for you to leverage the platform, because this show isn't about necessarily LinkedIn. It's about empowering women entrepreneurs. But you can support the overall process so that I'm able to continue to do what I do. So I want you to do this. When we're done with the show, go to my LinkedIn profile, go to my featured section, and that first item is a way that you can support this show. So the first item in my featured section, click on that and look at the details. You can support for as little as $5 or as much as, I don't know. Yeah, buy me a cup, a coffee is what that site, but I'm a tea drinker. But thank you for the visual. It's buy me a cup of coffee, and my moniker is Miss LinkedIn Queen there on that site. But you can buy me a cup of coffee, and that's a euphemism. It's really where you can financially support for as little as $5 or whatever the amount may be. And there's membership levels on there as well, where you can engage with me and I can support your LinkedIn journey on a regular basis. So check that out again on my feature, on my profile in my feature section, the first listing there. Thank you all, everyone, for joining. So great to have you here. And as always, ladies, let's put on our crowns, right? Let's wear our crowns. Let's be bold. Let's really, if I can put it in the right spot. But let's wear our crowns boldly and be our bold, brilliant selves so that we can get the business we deserve. Put our crowns on, put the S's on our chest, and be the boss ladies, right? And get the business. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you back here again on February 8th. Thank you so much, Monica Morgan Speaks. And everyone, connect with her on LinkedIn. Don't follow her, send her a connection inviter. If you follow her, you'll see her content too. Yes, Dr. Sonia, we are queens and we need to act like it, right? Not just be them, act like it. We are queens. All right, so that's the show. See you next time. And wait a minute, I have to get back to this new StreamYard feature that I'm loving, the built-in music. So let me get to this and then I'll close the show out. Right? Stay strong, everyone. See you next time.